Good afternoon. My name is John Ting, live from Houston, Texas, here to solve your immigration problem, answer any questions, point you in the right direction to hopefully prevent you from having a problem in the first place. Welcome to Green Card Guys TV. Now, today's topic is what are the biggest concerns for the visa interview abroad? Now, no, it's not about financial sponsorship. We talked about that a couple days ago. You know, it's not the usual A1, 2, 3, what people talk about in visa interview. Today's specific concern is the medical exam. Okay, there's serious concerns about the medical exam. What we've heard from several people is that recently, well, actually in the past year, is when the CDC guidelines, okay, changed what the medical clinics look for abroad. Okay, so and most people don't think about this as a inadmissibility, but there's a ground of inadmissibility that's related to health, which includes about the COVID vaccine, for example. So of course, people who are against the vaccine, I can understand. That's your own personal decision, but then you need to apply for a waiver for that. However, there's an even more serious concern that not a lot of people are talking about. That is related to any substance abuse. The CDC has made it very broad. I don't believe intentionally in the sense that that would affect foreign nationals or immigrants abroad, but is having a catastrophic effect for those who have that visa interview. And here's the deal: just practically speaking, and I'll go into more detail later, but before your visa interview, let's say it's on a Wednesday, but you have to go get your exam. I recommend at least a week before the interview. Okay. And when you go to exam, or before you even go there, you have to schedule an appointment, of course. And there's usually only a list of like 2 to 4 clinics that you can go to. These clinics, these physician offices are subcontracted, authorized by the government to conduct these medical exams. Now, the thing is, though, what most people don't think about even more so is that after the physician checks you out, does the all the typical exam, but then if you answer specific questions um, that show some kind of indication of possible substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or drugs, they will refer you to a psychologist. Now, this is where it gets even worse, okay? Because what I'm trying to say right now is that I don't believe there's any oversight to these health screenings, because after the psychologist says, "I'm sorry, buddy, you are what I believe have associated harmful behavior because of substance abuse in the past or substance use in the past." And so that is a key difference that most people are not talking about: substance use versus abuse versus harmful behavior. So this is something that, unfortunately, if you've gone through the situation and, it's not just about getting another health screening, that's the easy part. But what I just got a call about is that the now new client, the client, they have to wait 8 months of Alcohol Anonymous classes. 8 months. That is ridiculous. Okay. That's nonsense. And then after that, he can get another new refreshed health screening to verify that he does not have harmful behavior of substance abuse, okay, or disorder. So it's pretty ridiculous. So even if you had a situation like this where you may have had a beer like 4 months ago, that can affect you, or even longer than that. Okay, this person had DWI 10 years ago and then had one beer like 4 months ago. So uh, so you need to know these kind of real life scenario, so that you can consult a lawyer who has information about this kind of situation. So I'm going to share my screen. But anyway, for those who are new to the channel, please subscribe down below. And if you enjoy our content, how we share information in a timely manner, and how we share in the first place, please smash the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Now, here is we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. Uh, so the best way to do that is call in to our number here, 720-740-4247, or you can go down to our website, greencardguys.com, and answer a couple questions. All right, I'm going to share that with you right now. Go to our website and then greencardguys.com, click on contact us or take quiz down below, and then answer a couple questions, and then it'll give you an opportunity to fill out the self-scheduled appointment. Okay. And now here's the next thing, and that is going back to the CDC guidelines on this. It's related to mental health. This is under the, let's see here. Okay. The immigrant, refugee, and migrant health section. Okay. In the CDC. I always like to share what I'm talking about here. Okay. There you go. And yeah, this is a serious concern that you need to look at this. Okay, maybe I made it too big. Okay, you take a look here. It's the mental health section, and you're going down here, and the purpose of this section is the immigration examination to identify health-related conditions that render an applicant inadmissible. And to going back to the practical situation is that the information from the psychologist and also the physician gets put into the exam, and then the exam results are provided to the visa officer. So in this situation, the client told us the visa officer didn't ask any questions about the health grounds, okay? And because they're relying on this subcontracted medical office. Think about that for a second. Just think about how there's no oversight, that the visa officer is not going to take the time to verify A through Z questions to make sure that the medical office asked the questions. Come to find out, our client was not asked all these screening questions that the medical office is required to do. Kind of strange, right? I don't think it's a surprise. I'm not surprised at all, unfortunately. So here, showing you the CDC website again, is that it's not just about the physical disorders or physical, the typical diseases per se. Um, it's what they consider medical disorder, mental disorder, harmful with associated harmful behaviors and substance use disorder. Do I think my client has a substance use disorder? I don't think so. I'm not a physician. I'm not a psychologist, but I can tell you, especially based on what the client said, they were not asked the specific screening questions. So how can a physician automatically label someone to say they have substance abuse, and or they're going to predict that this person, how can they going to predict that this applicant has a future um, ability to harm themselves and have this kind of harmful behavior? It's really strange why that the government would think that this is helpful, in the sense that to prevent a person from coming into the US because of this alleged harmful behavior. Okay, it's pretty ridiculous. So I can see why some people have said, in terms of, in terms of like, when people buy guns, that everyone should go through a mental health examination. It's tricky because that's basically what they've done for immigrants abroad, and it's very arbitrary. It's a difficult conversation. So, but this is what the CDC is doing for those who are outside America. And let me share my screen here again. So, yeah, they have to go through this DSM criteria. Okay, the examining physician must conduct a pattern of use and behavior behavioral and physical and psychological effects associated with the use or cessation of that substance. So, I mean, I don't see how my client could have had a pattern of use of substance abuse when number one, the DWI was 10 years ago, and then the last beer he drank was in July. So let's see. Got a question. Oh, hey, Marlon. Nice to see you, sir. Yeah. So back to the sharing my screen here. I'm going to drop the provide this link as a comment here so you can take a look on your own. Oh, I won't go through the whole thing, but just want to share an idea of the ridiculousness and what we call as lawyers arbitrary and capricious, and that there's no oversight. Okay, so they have to go through these questions. The DSM uses the following criteria to determine the severity of a substance use disorder. Okay, if there's 2 or 3 symptoms, then it's suggested to be a mild substance disorder. 4 to 5 symptoms, then it's a moderate substance use disorder. Or 6 or more, then it's a severe substance use disorder. Okay, so the concern is how many symptoms have to show for applicant to be refused a visa, aka the green card residency status. It's very, very arbitrary. I hope more people talk about this, and yeah, it's a serious concern. So showing the screen again. By the way, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, drop in the comment section down below, and then or on the side, and of course, I'll try my best to point you in the right direction. All right. The other thing is here's an example of harmful behavior. What is the definition of that? It's 2 things here: serious psychological or physical injury to the applicant or to others. For example, that they provide suicide attempt or child abuse. I know my client that would not be the case for this person. Second definition: a serious threat to health or safety. An example is driving while intoxicated. Okay, yeah, he did have one, but that was more than 10 years ago. Or verbally threatening to kill someone. No, he has not done that. Okay. So just because someone had a DWI 10 years ago, I don't think that would give someone I don't think any person, reasonable person, can predict that there's a pattern of use, pattern of behavior that this would happen again. Now, I have some friends have done some silly things in the past, and I would say that their pattern back in the day, especially in college, would those scenarios, their scenarios would definitely be a pattern, but not in this client situation. Okay. So you really need to think about think about this. If you had any kind of DWI or DUI in the past, or any use of drugs in the past, you really need to um, speak with the lawyer about this to get you prepared. Okay. And this is a recent change that happened, I believe last year. Now the problem with this is that because the CDC updated this, and of course we were in a pandemic, a lot of things changed in immigration. But technically, even though this is related to immigration, this is tucked under the CDC. So of course, many lawyers wouldn't know about this situation. So to this detail, okay. Usually, when people go abroad, many of us are concerned about, okay, does the client have any certain tattoos that that the visa officer would think, oh, okay, this is gang related, but of course it's not. So, but those are things that we have to consider. I'm sure that when people get tattoos, they're not thinking, oh, I shouldn't get that one because that's gang related. If you're not really involved in a gang, you wouldn't know necessarily which tattoo or symbol um, is related to gang. So that's I know it's difficult to scrub it off. Okay, so anyway, back to this. Um, there's just a lot of information here that is it's not just substance abuse, but disorders they write down most commonly. Let me make this a little larger. Oops. Okay, that took it all the way to the top. Well, yeah. So the psychiatric evaluation they have here, They go through the medical history, or at least they're supposed to, and they're supposed to ask these questions. Um, the panel physician should conduct an activities assessment and mental status examination that assess at minimum orientation, mood and affect, speech and language, thought processes, and content and behavior. That's so broad. That's not enough. That's not enough direction, guidance for these physicians. Okay, let's see here. Panel physician may estimate the degree in cognitive impairment in dementia or intellectual disability by assessing the applicant's level of knowledge, ability to carry out functions of daily living, communication, and routine activities. Now, if you ask me, just because someone has dementia and intellectual disability, is that a reason to not allow someone to come into US? That's pretty ridiculous. Okay, so back to the CDC website here. Um, there's another section. There's a lot to read about this, but there's another section here I want to share with you. There's a whole bunch here, even for cannabis use, CBD. You really want to make sure because there's a percentage here if you have more than 0.3%. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I don't know if that's high or low or what's normal. I mean, so take a look at this. Let me go up more. Okay, so yeah, the overview. Yeah, they have to not just the identify and diagnose any physical or mental disorder, including alcohol-related disorder, but also again identify any harmful behavior associated with the disorder. So that's the thing. Even if someone had a DWI or DUI, some kind of drinking, public intoxication kind of offense or crime, that doesn't necessarily mean someone has harmful behavior to themselves or someone else. So that's why there needs to be more thorough exam to be conducted, and it needs to be oversight. Okay, so by the way, if you have any questions, please drop in the comments. Happy to point you in the right direction. And I will share the secret code, which you need the secret code to access, unlock the free 15-minute consultation. Okay, so I'll share that towards the end of the show. We usually try to go about 30 minutes. Marlon, I see you have a question. Let me see here. If someone migrated via marriage, didn't pay the 220 fee, what are the steps acquiring the green card when they get to the US? So yes, you have to pay the $220 fee. It's called the production fee. You Marlon, let me see if I can find the. You might already have the website, but for y'all that don't have it, let me drop it in the comments here. But yeah, you can enter the US without having the card because you typically they mail it to your address in America, which is what I recommend. Actually, don't even know if they allow you to, if you can, have them deliver it to somewhere abroad, which would not make sense. You just need the visa packet, the sealed packet to enter US. You don't have to have the green card. However, of course, because of processing time just for them to create the card, resident card, and then mail it to you, I recommend paying it as soon as possible, Marlon. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right, now, so for those that are just joining the show, welcome. Welcome to greencardguys.tv, where today we're talking about the ridiculousness of the government, US government, and preventing people from getting their visa based on many reasons, but the main reason right now for today at least is the medical exam, which includes the physical and mental examination. Okay. So if you have any, you're welcome, Marlon. Is it a difficult process? No, you should be able to just pay the fee online as you click on the website. I just put it in the comment section for y'all, and it should take like less than 5 minutes. So check that out and see if. But in terms of how long it takes to get that card, it ranges. I mean, average a month. but we've had some clients that took a little longer than a month. But um, I don't know exactly when they paid the fee. Just for sake of timing, it's usually easier for our clients to pay it directly as opposed to us doing it. So we don't know the timing of when they paid it versus how long it took for them to receive it. But I've heard usually about a month. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right. So I don't want to read the whole thing to y'all about this. You can go to this page about this arbitrary um, mental examination. Um, but let's see here. Yeah, they said he needed 9 months of AA. That's I can't be the judge of saying that's long, too long, or needs more time or less time, but I don't believe he needs it in the first place. And then that's preventing him from coming into the US. So it's pretty ridiculous because it's not just 9 months of waiting time with the AA classes. It's also having to get the exam again after that, and then getting scheduled for an interview again. So it's really not just like the anticipated time for a new appointment for him would be July 2023. So by the time he actually gets a visa, it could be maybe 2 or 3 months after that. So it could bring it back to a full year. So I don't want to be predicting some things here, but I imagine that more people will be affected, unfortunately, based on this loosey goosey criteria. I can understand the criteria, but because even the one-page document that my client received, it did not provide any specifics, just said inadmissible based on health ground. Okay, that he needed to undergo 9 months of AA classes. It was not specific at all. So what we're doing, for example, in this kind of case, is requesting a FOIA. It's a Freedom of Information Act, is what it's called, FOIA, to the Department of State, okay, to get all the notes that the visa officer may have, and also try to obtain any notes that the clinic had. Now, that would be proved to be probably more difficult because it's subcontracted through the government and not a part of the directly from the government. And now I can understand why they want less liability, right? Just like with detention centers, the government, US government for immigration, it's all subcontracted. They pay private corporations. Just look at the stock ticker. Okay. What is it? Um, what's an example? CCA, I believe, is one of them. Detention center. Okay. So yeah, Core Civic is one of the detention centers. And let me see if they have a stock ticker. No, there's a or symbol. So that's an example. These detention centers, yeah, Core Civic is on the New York Stock Exchange, CXY. Corporations, Corporate of America is also okay. I guess that's the same company. Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Okay, um, y'all, if you have any questions about this or want me to talk more about it, I'm happy to do it. And the other reasons, other situations, just to shift gears a little bit, other reasons why the consulate or embassy might refuse your visa or put you in administrative processing is number one, they're intentionally delaying cases. Number two, for your visa. Number two is they provide you a DS 5535 for supplemental information, which is ridiculous. They don't need to know 10 to 15 years of where your workplace is. Why would they need to know that? And they're just arbitrarily asking people. It's not for everyone, because if it was for everyone, then you would already have the form prepared. So that's just something to keep in mind in anticipation before you attend your interview, because it will be super frustrating if you're not aware of this and the officer doesn't even tell you about it at the interview, and then 5-10 minutes later you're like, oh, that was easy. And then later in the afternoon you get an email saying, By the way, the consulate needs DS 5535 or XYZ document. You're like, this is ridiculous. Why didn't they just ask me before? So there's just a way, several ways of them intentionally delaying visa issuance. Why would they need that? I would understand if it was a situation where they there was like allegation or they suspect some kind of national terrorism, or not national terrorism, but terrorism in general, and for national security purposes. Um, but yeah, a lot of people are getting asked to fill this out, and some people call us like as soon as they receive it and provide, and they're like, "What should we expect?" I mean, I always say at least wait 2 months if you can, but after that, we may be able to file a lawsuit for you because even when you provide that form back, and most people when they call us about this, they provide it the same day or the next day. But then you have to wait 4+ months. I think someone called the other day, said they've been waiting for like a year. Okay. That is, or actually, I think that was on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Someone called in and also commented on YouTube that they've been waiting since 2021. Okay, October 2021. It is now October 2022, and we're almost in November. Okay, so don't let the government mess with you. Okay, don't let the government mess with your legal status. All right. But anyway, I wanted to share the topic about this medical and mental health examination because this is something that not very few people are talking about. So just wanted to get out there and share that. If you have any questions, welcome to drop in the comments because I just have a couple minutes left. Let's see here. But if you are on TikTok, okay, check out my profile. I was trying to figure out what that was. Profile. Okay, check my account. Please give it a follow if you're already on TikTok. If you're not on it, not saying I don't recommend it, but it can suck you in. So into that field of social media. So good luck. Let me know what you think about social media. Do you think Facebook is going away? I think a lot of people are in for the shorter form content. But anyways, here is a secret code I'm going to share with you. You're welcome, Olga. Appreciate it. I'm going to share the secret code with you so you can access those free 15 minutes. Green card guys. Could have guessed it, but if you're new to the channel, welcome. Get that secret code so you can share it with our cares team. They'll take care of you and try their best to schedule you for an appointment. Now, keep in mind, we can't help everyone, unfortunately. There's a lot of people to help. There's like at least 8 million people in the United States without status and need help. So with that being said, even if we can't help you, we do have information, free information that could help you, point you in the right direction. Okay. Right here. Even if you don't have a legal problem, check out our free guide. All right. On our website, greencardguys.com. And read it. You have to enter your email and name to get that guide, of course. And check it out. And of course, after that, if you still, of course, have more questions or there's a way we can help you, give us a call or go to our website again and schedule a time with us. All right. And let's see what else to share with you. We do have a Facebook group called Green Card Guys Academy. So if you download one of those free guides, you'll have a link to join the Facebook group where we share information about visa statistics, for example, depending on the consulate, the top consulates. Of course, you have a question about the specific consulate. You want to kind of have an idea how many visas are being issued the past couple of months. Yeah, you could drop a comment in there, make a request, and we're happy to assist you. Okay. In the meantime, please stay tuned. Follow us for tomorrow's live show at 12 o'clock Central, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care now.